Shalom. Want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Chakodash. Double honors to our venerable apostles and elders at Great Millstone who were well, and peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. It's the brother Aharon coming back at you with another lesson, Lord willing to be edifying and uplifting onto the elect, especially in these last days. All right. And I'm going to title this, History Repeats Itself. All right. History repeats itself. All right. And this is inspired by something that I was reading earlier today. All right. The book of the third book of Maccabees. All right. Which you could find. All right. On the internet. Okay. I believe it's this page called BibleGateway.com. All right. And you can read the third book of Maccabees on there as well. I believe it's if this page will load, I believe it's actually 4 books of the Maccabees, if I'm not mistaken. All right, but let me see. Yeah, but anyway, without further ado, I wanted to bring this out because, like the title goes, history repeats itself. All right, we're in a time, the most pivotal moment, all right, in human history. All right, and this really is the most pivotal moment in the nation of Israel as a whole. All right, this is the most pivotal moment in our lives. All right, and we have many accounts in the scriptures that shows us, all right, certain things, certain instances that we went through trials and tribulation. All right, but the Most High always delivered us. Okay, not by who we are or what we think we are or what we do, but by His name. Okay, because of His name and that covenant that He made with the nation of Israel, He always came to the rescue. Okay, and ultimately He sent His son Yahushua to come die for the nation of Israel, starting with the elect. All right, now we're about to see why Yahushua did what He did for us. Okay, but many times, all right, the Lord always intervened on our behalf when we called upon Him. All right, and we're entering into a time where, as I read this, you're going to see the similarities in the history that's repeating itself and the outcome, all right, that's been promised to happen. Okay, the victory that we're going to get, knowing that we are part of the elect. Lord willing, we are part of that number. All right. So I'm gonna go straight. There's a book of 3rd Maccabees chapter 1. All right, verse 8, and it says Ptolemy Philopator at the temple. All right, verse 8. It says the Jews had sent elders and members of the council to greet him, to bring gifts of friendship, and to congratulate him on recent events. As a result, he was even more eager to come to them as soon as possible. So he traveled to Jerusalem, sacrificed to the supreme power, which is our God Yahweh, made thank offerings, and did what was appropriate for the temple. As he entered the temple, he was struck with amazement at its brilliance and beauty. And as he admired the orderly arrangement of the temple, he conceived a notion to enter into the holy place. But they said that it wasn't right to do this, since even those of their own nation weren't permitted to enter it. All right, and that's going into the Holy of Holies, where the high priest, okay, the chief high priest, was allowed to go in there once a year. Okay, so he was basically the overseer, all right, the top priest. All right, he had the ability to go in there once a year to do the biddings of the priests unto the Most High. But the regular priests, who were not the chief high priest, they weren't even allowed to go in there. Okay, so this was a big deal, to have somebody who's not even on the priesthood, all right, who's not in the priesthood and who's not even part of the nation, all right, to come in there and to go into the place that nobody's allowed to go to, all right, except for the high priest that goes in there once a year. So it was a big deal, all right, and being that he's an Edomite, he didn't give a shit. All right, he like it says, he was amazed. He was struck with amazement at the brilliance and beauty, and that's Esau right there. Okay, he sees something that's beautiful, and his whole mindset is, I want it. How can I make money off of it? I need this. I want this. Okay, and he's willing to destroy the very nature of that thing just so he can have it in his possession. All right. So let's keep reading. It says, not even all, it says not even all the priests were allowed, but only the chief priest, who was in charge overall, and he could do so only once a year. Exactly. But Philopator wasn't at all persuaded, so he wasn't trying to hear that. All right. It says, even after the law was read to him, he continued to claim that it was necessary for him to enter, saying, even if those persons are denied this honor, I shouldn't be. Okay, now, this is the same thing that these devils are doing today. All right, you fast forward everything till today, look what's going on. They're telling you, look, I understand everything you're saying about natural immunity. I understand everything you're saying about your rights and your freedoms. But guess what? We're trying to save the world. This is trying to save lives. Forget about your freedoms. Forget about your rights. Okay, we're going to enter. That's exactly the same tactics. The Greeks did it, and these modern day Greeks, the Edomites, they're doing it again. All right, and hey, Biden, he could very well be this nigga coming back. You know, who knows? But hey, it doesn't really matter who he is or whatever. The point of the matter, the point of the fact is this: he is an Edomite, and he's doing exactly what Edomites do, a devil. Okay, and hey, look, you devils, let me tell you something. You about to pay heavy judgment. All right, you're about to pay heavy judgment, man. All right. Yesterday, and I'm gonna get back to reading. Yesterday, I started watching the show. All right, another show on Netflix called Hollywood. All right, my Eve put me onto that because I was basically explaining to her how the industry works, you know. And then she was like, "Yo, I think I saw a show that pretty much depicts everything you just said." So, you know, she said, "Yo, watch it and let me know what you think." So I started watching it, and lo and behold, everything that we talk about that these devils do, they show you. All right, it's basically them telling you this is what you got to do to become a so-called celebrity. All right, it's a ritual, it's a thing that they do, and the show tells you, it shows you everything. You know, the sodomites, you know, the rituals. All right, all these different, you know, there's a reason why you have the so-called Me Too movement that started a couple years ago. All right, you also had a lot of these, you know, people getting arrested and being put on trial for, you know, pedophilia and all this different stuff, you know. And all these dudes are in the industry are all sodomites, man. The so-called Jewish producers and directors, they're all sodomites. All right, and if you're not down to do that sodomite stuff, they're not gonna give you no roles. They're not gonna give you no nothing. All right. So all these people you see on TV that they're made to be admired, guess what? They all had to take that ritual. They had to do that ritual, man. Okay? So The Rock had to do it. Idris Elba had to do it. Okay, what's the other guy's name? Jason Statham, I think that's his name. Statham, whatever. Him, he had to do it. You know, all these celebrities that you see on TV, they all partake in these rituals, man. Okay, LeBron James, all these celebrities, you're not gonna be at the top if you don't go down like that. All right, that's the rite of passage, if you will. Okay, and forget it if you're a Jake. You know, they put Jake through a different type of ritual, man. You know, that's why you Jakes, man, you fiending to be part of Esau's kingdom so bad. Guess what? You see the result of what's happening to you. They're showing you the hatred that they have for you, man. That's why we keep saying, look, you gotta wake up to who you are. Okay? You gotta wake up to who you are. It's just so dumb to call yourself black. Black is the very thing. It carries such a negative connotation. It baffles my mind that people actually till today call them, yo, I'm a proud black man. You know? You're just lost. Because here it is, you got the whole world that in every case that the word black shows up, it normally indicates something that's negative. Okay, if you want to talk about the color black, it's a negative thing. Nobody wants to be associated with being black. Nobody wants to be you got people who are mixed, so-called mixed. You know, they have the half father, half mother type vibe going on, you know, a Jake father mostly, and then an Edomite mother. And majority of them will rep, you know, the Edomite side. You know, like, nah, you know, I'm mixed, but my white side, blah, blah, whatever, you know, because they don't want to be seen as so-called black. No, nobody wants to be associated with that. So it's baffling to hear people really call themselves black. What is black? You got somebody who says, I'm Chinese. You have somebody who says, I'm Japanese. You have somebody who says, I'm from this country, or I'm this person, I'm that nation, or whatever it might be. I'm from Iran. I'm from here. German. I'm this. I'm Italian. And then you ask a Jake, what are you? I'm black. So everybody's going to say something that's a place, and you just going to give a color. I'm black. It's just, you're just lost. That's what it is. And that's why Esau treats you like that. Because I tell you this, once you wake up to who you are and you start calling yourself an Israelite, it carries a different energy, man. Okay, that's why our people back then were so steadfast on that keeping the nationality and keeping the customs that our forefathers was given, because it meant something. It meant everything to us. Okay, calling yourself black doesn't mean anything but negativity, man. Don't you see how these people treat you? You go around calling yourself black. Us black people, they used to call you Negroes, the Negro boy, the Negro woman, the Negro man. Now they changed it to the black man, the black woman, the black boy, the black girl. But then once you say, no, I'm not black, I'm an Israelite. I'm a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I'm a child of the Most High. We are the chosen people. We are Israelites. They look at you like, wait, what? And it's not just going around calling yourself an Israelite. No, but it's the change that happens along with it. Your mindset changes. Your attitude towards everything changes. People see you and they notice something different about you. They're like, yo, this person, yo, where you from, bro? Yo, what are you into? You know, they tell the difference right away. The way we carry ourselves is very different from the world. You see, we're polite. You know, when we deal with people outside the world and so on and so forth, all right, we're very polite. We're gentle. We're patient. We try to be understanding. You see, because we're on a, and I say this in a humble way, but the Lord has blessed us with a higher level of thinking, you know, and that comes with understanding. You see, so it's easy for you to, you know, cope with people and so on and so forth, and they can see it. You know, when you say the words like thank you and please, and you have this bright smile and the spirit that glows in your eyes, and when they see you, they're like, yo, even the way we dress, the way we look, the way we speak, you know, the way we carry ourselves, so gentle, we try not to be in trouble, and all these things that we do, that's all part of being an Israelite. Because why? You become God-fearing. So now you're not doing things because of what society says, but you do things that the Lord is requiring you to do. And the end result is people seeing like, yo, this person is different. They show you respect. You might not even say, oh, I'm an Israelite. You don't have to say it. You don't have to go around broadcasting your nationality. But just the way you carry yourself alone says a lot. They're like, yo, wow, this guy, wow. Yo, this woman right here, damn, she don't play that, bro. Yo, you know? People come around you and they're like, yo, it's a rare thing to see a so-called black man or a so-called Latino man or a so-called Native American man who knows about the Bible like this. They have such a strong passion for the scriptures. I mean, who are you? What are you? You know? But if you go around calling yourself black, nobody cares. Nobody respects you. It's like, oh, this nigga black. Oh, this black nigga's over here. And then guess what happens? You start to act like a niggard. You start to act like exactly what they portray you to be. Because you bring that vibration upon yourselves, man. That's why it's very important to go back to your nationality. Who are you? Okay? There's a reason why Esau is always hating on us. He's jealous of who we are. He knows we have the birthright. We have the kingdom to come. We are the ones the Lord loves. For Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. That's why even when they acknowledge us being Israelites, they have to put a negative connotation to it. You black Hebrew Israelites. Why do you want to force that on people? If we're saying, no, we're Israelites. No, you're black Hebrew Israelites. Because what? It carries a negative connotation in the world. When people hear black Hebrew Israelites who are in the world and they lack understanding, they automatically think of, oh, there's a hate group. Oh, they curse people out. They hate the white man. They say this, America God, da. But then when you're in the truth and you don't use those terms, oh, black Hebrew Israelites, and you just say, no, we are the children of Israel, you start to have a sound mind. When you're listening to brothers teaching, you're not hearing, oh, fuck the F the white man and you're going to be in slavery. You don't hear that. You hear edification. You hear things that make sense. You hear truth. And you're like, wow, damn, this is not what I thought. They portray you guys in the world like you guys are crazy. But then when you leave the world and you come over here onto this side, you get the peace. You get the understanding. You get the calmness. You get the the sensible judgments. Like, man, this makes sense. Oh, that's why the Lord said not to eat this. Oh, okay, that's why the Lord said not to do this. Man, this is even making my life better. I have order in my life. My woman respects me because I'm on my mission. I'm doing something that's, beyond this world. My children understand the mission, and my life is so much better. I'm a man of faith. I'm a woman of faith. I'm a child of faith. We're coming back to our power. We're calling upon Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And we're going to read why it's so important to call upon those names, especially now. Okay, let's keep going. Go back to the third book of Maccabees. All right, verse 13. It says, he asked why, and this is talking about Ptolemy. All right, he asked why, when he was entering every other sacred place, none of those present prevented him. And someone said, without thinking, that he was wrong to speak of this as a sign. Okay, so somebody blurted out that don't think just because you was going in here step by step means that's a sign that you could go into all the other rooms. No, those places we allowed you to go in there because it's not the Holy of Holies. So you've seen what you got to see. This place you can't go. This is where we draw the line. You can't go right here. All right, it's the same thing we're saying in this time around. That you could take jobs away, you can do all these different things, but you're not about to force us to take nothing. All right, because this body doesn't belong to you. We don't belong to you. You're becoming too proud. You got to calm down, sir. You were just put over us to teach us a lesson. The Lord is using you to teach us a lesson. You're not really a factor like that. So you just need to, you know what I'm saying? You gotta calm it down there, Esau. Big Red, you gotta calm it down, buddy. All right. So continuing, it says, quote, verse 15. But even if for some reason this were true, Philopator replied, why should I of all people not enter, whether they are willing or not? Do you hear that tone? Why wouldn't you take this thing? Whether you like it or yes, we're gonna give you this thing. And soon it's going to get to that point. That's why in the book of Revelation, John talked about he saw those who were beheaded, okay, for not worshiping the beast or taking the mark of the beast. There it goes. I said the words. Now YouTube going to put me on timeout now. But hey, that's the same tone. That is either you comply or we're going to come down upon you with great wrath. You see? He said, why shouldn't I of all people not enter? Like, why are you going to stop me? Whether they're willing or not. Verse 16, it says, but the priests fell to the ground, still in their sacred robes. They filled the temple with crying and tears, praying to the supreme power Yahweh to help them and to change the mind of the one who is wrongly imposing himself. And that's what we're praying for. Right now, we ain't praying for these devils to change their minds. No, we're praying for the Lord to hasten the day. Let's go. But as we go, we can see that it's getting darker and darker. It's getting tougher and tougher. But Father, like you've always done, give us the courage to stand. Yeah, we're gonna, adversity's coming, but don't put the spirit of fear on us where it's gonna make us buckle or turn around and try to run. No, but give us that spirit of courage and strength, so we can stand firm. And be able to take those steps that are necessary to make it to the end. Keep on running. Yeah, the storm is coming, but we going into the storm. We're running towards the storm, head on, because we have the protector. We have the shield pertaining to Revelation 3 and 10. All right, Yahushua already gave us the guarantee that we're going to be fine. So we, as the hopeful elect, we got to keep that faith. That's something that the world doesn't have. Hence, they're all going back to Esau for help. And that's what Esau wants. He doesn't want you to call upon Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Because once you start calling upon the Lord, you know exactly what Esau is. But if you don't know to call upon the Lord, guess who's your Lord? Esau. You're going to go to him for everything. That's why all these jakes who went and took the thing, they look at Esau as their God. If I don't do this, then my God is going to take this from me. He's not going to give me this. But we were like, no. No. We don't. It doesn't work like that. All right. So continuing verse 17, it says, Those who were left in the city were troubled and hurried out, thinking something mysterious was happening. The young girls who had been kept secluded at home rushed out with their mothers. They sprinkled their hair with dust and began to fill the streets with weeping and groaning. Even the young women who had just been adorned for their weddings left the bridal bedrooms that had been prepared for the marriage night, neglecting all proper modesty. They came together in the city in a wild rush. So you had some women who weren't all the way covered up, because it was an emergency. Everybody was like, oh, what the, what's going on? What's going on? Like you hearing, the priests are screaming and shouting and people are weeping and crying. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Back then, I'm telling you, the way Jake used to move was different. You know what I'm saying? Jake used to move different. Hey, you had glimpses of that, not too long ago. The last previous century when, you have your great grandmothers, your grandmothers, and they tell you all these stories, and, they always remind you of how the world has changed. They always tell us stories about how, the communities were, they took care of themselves. Your mother knew pretty much all the other mothers that lived in the community. And if you were doing the wrong thing, somebody's mother became your mother. She'll check you. And then you go home and then get checked some more. All because what? They had to keep the society or keep the nation intact. You couldn't go outside and learn something else and come back into your Jake community and come practice those things. Jake wasn't down with that whole sodomy thing. Oh, you're tranny, you doing this, you that, all these different things. The world is so confused. America has changed everything, turned everything upside down. To the point where you could say somebody's straight. What is the opposite of straight? Crooked. But this world, this country, they give you different, like, oh, he's bi or she's bi. Or no, they're gay. Oh, no, they're trans. No, they're this. No, they're that. LGBT. Yesterday, I saw some shit that says the new thing is, I think it's LGBTQ. I think, no, QQ or TT, something like QQIA plus. I think that's something like that I saw. I said, yo, just run the alphabet out. Just run it out at this point. All right, nobody cares. You're just going on with the different confusion. The opposite of straight is crooked. That's it. And if something is crooked, it means what? It's not straight. It's being moved out of the path that it's supposed to be on. It's bending out of the prime way it's supposed to be going on. Okay, it's corrupt. It's immoral. All right, it's wicked. It's wrong. That's what it means to be crooked. Okay, so that's it. But they give you all these different terms to confuse you. Nah, it's two things. You're either straight or you're crooked. That's it. And if you're crooked, it comes with so many different things. Anything but straight is crooked. End of story. You see? So that's one of the reasons why this devil is going to be destroyed. He confused everything, man. Go pertain to Psalms 82 and 5, I believe. Okay? But anyway, let's keep going. All right. So the young women all came out, weeping and groaning. All right. It says, verse 20, mothers and nurses left newborn children here and there, some in houses, some in the streets, and crowded together into the Most High temple without looking back. The people who assembled offered all kinds of prayers on account of the evil plot of the king. But of the bolder citizens weren't, it says some of the bolder citizens weren't going to put up with his intended plan or fulfill what he had in mind. And those men are back here again. Judas Maccabees is back here again. His brother Simon is back here again. All his other brothers, his father, they're all back here again doing the work. And the Lord is going to raise all of them up, all of us up, and we're going to put that, we're going to stand firm. Okay, those men are back here again, just like we did back at that time that we're reading, in the time of the Greeks, during the time of Antiochus, Epiphanes, and so on and so forth. Those same spirits are back here again. Okay, and this is it. This history is not going to repeat itself. This is the last repetition of history. That's it. All right, and we're reading it. Okay, they stood firm. They weren't intended to allow that shit to happen. Okay, And right now you have us standing firm and saying, nah, we're not going to take this thing. We're not going to lie down. We're not going to comply with this BS. Because why? It leads to the 13th chapter. Okay. It says, verse 23, they rallied each other to attack with weapons and to die courageously for the sake of the law and their ancestors, creating a great uproar in the holy place. The old men and the elders were barely able to restrain them, but turned them at last to the same stance of prayer. You see? And that's really all that we can do. Okay? But let's keep reading. It says, let me see. There you go. So continuing, it says, now the crowd in front of the temple was occupied in praying. You hear that? This is the key. Okay? They were occupied in praying because Joe Biden already came out and said what? He said, look, if you want to fight against the government, you're going to have to, it's going to take a lot. You need all kinds of weapons, F-15s and AR, blah, 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 all these different things that Esau be coming up with. And we said, no, we're not interested in that. That's whack. Don't put those kind of ideas in our heads. No, we don't want that. We talking about spiritual power, something you've never had. You don't have any type of defense for that. That's what we're talking about. You got to take us serious, man. You think this is a joke? Nah, we know you take us serious. Let me stop. We know you definitely take us serious. That's why you guys watch us. All right? You watch because you're afraid of the prophecies that are coming to pass. Okay? Because it's not stopping. This is the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. It's not stopping. Okay? It says, continuing, it says, now the crowd in front of the temple was occupied in praying, but the elders standing near the king tried in many ways to turn his arrogant mind from the scheme that he had conceived. But he, being made bold and ignoring all their arguments, began to make his approach, determined to carry out his plan. So when those who were near him saw this, they turned together with the people to appeal to the one who was fully able to come to their aid and not to overlook their insolent transgression. Right? So let's read. An immense roar went up from the intensity and passion of the crowd's concerted shouting. Indeed, it seemed that not only the people, but also the walls and the entire land were echoing. So Israel was just praying to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Hey, when the brothers in Chicago, when the chariots, I believe this was earlier this year or last year, man, the days are moving so fast. But brothers like saw chariots, all right, the fleet of chariots that were above brothers, and yo, you heard your brothers were like, call on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And bro, that energy, yo, you had neighbors, you could see in the videos, you had people like checking the blinds, coming outside, looking to see what's going on. Like, yo, why is it the world shaking all of a sudden? My whole living room, I'm shaking. What's this? Why I hear this loud noise of men screaming and shouting the name of someone somewhere, and I'm seeing things happen. My TV is shaking. The whole power just went out. What is going on? Let me go see what's going on out there. You see? And look, it takes a lot for people to get out their couches nowadays. For them to actually go outside and see. Nowadays, you hear shootings. It's so normal that it's like, yeah, somebody just got shot. Yeah, just wait for the ambulance and that's it. You know? They're just on their phones or watching their TV, or it's hard to get Jake to get up and see something. But it was so powerful. Yo, everybody, oh, what's going on? Oh, shit, yo, what? So we know the power we have and Esau does. That's why they don't want us to come together. They create all these divisions, all this, you're this, you're that. They encourage stuff like that. They encourage the violence and the division. Because they know once we come together as one, under Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, it's over. It is over. And that's what's happening now. You got men all over the world preaching the name, teaching the name. All right? Putting that energy out there, putting that spirit out there. And do you see what's happening in the world right now? Oh my goodness. It says, oh man. It says, indeed, it seemed that not only the people, but also the walls and the entire land were echoing. Because at that time, all were prepared to accept death instead of making the holy place impure. You see? So we got to be in that same spirit. We're going all in. That's it. Like, this is it. This is the last stand. We're not going to bow down, and this is it. Yes, if you want to wage war on us because we're not bowing down, let's go. And this is the spirit. And they're afraid of that. Okay, Esau is afraid of this spirit coming back, man. The Lord put in that spirit, the warrior spirit, back on Jake. He's afraid of that. Okay. So, let me see. There you go. So I'm gonna jump real quick, all right, to chapter 2, the third book of Maccabees, chapter 2, verse. Let's go down to verse 21. All right. It says, "Then the Most High, who watches over all things," all right, because when you read from the top, it was a prayer, okay, that the high priest Simon, all right, he threw up a heavy prayer, okay, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, you know, but he threw up a heavy prayer, okay, reminding the Most High and praising the Most High and adoring the Most High and asking, Father, please, you know, Babakushai, we need you, you know, hear our prayer, you know. Hey, quick precept. All right, hear our prayer. Psalms 102 and verse 2, it says, "Hide not thy face from me in the day when I am in trouble. Incline thine ear unto me in the day when I call, answer me speedily." All right, and that's King David's prayer. Okay, a prayer of affliction, you know, a prayer for mercy, you know, and the Most High to listen. Father, when I call you when in a time of need, please answer me speedily. I need you, Lord. You know, we go through that. You know, you be in the moment where you're like, "Oh man, how am I gonna get out of this?" You know. So let's finish this. It says, so the Most High heard the prayer, and this is what He did, right? And He's gonna do the same thing again for us, right? It says, "Then the power, which is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, who watches over all things, the first Father of all, holy among the holy ones, heard this lawful prayer and scourged the one who had claimed too much for himself in his violence and arrogance." So that's the same thing He's going to do again this time. These Edomites who think they're so above and beyond and they want to tell you what to do with yourself and with your life, the Lord is going to strike them down. Okay, a lot of them are going to drop dead because we're going to see them in the kingdom. They're going to be in slavery. But the top elites, the Lord is going to reserve them for something special. They got to see Yahushua. Okay, they have to see the lion come back. All right, but it says verse 22. It says, "The Most High shook him this way and that as a reed is shaken by the wind." So that means he didn't have no power. He just started. It was almost like he's dizzy and he had a seizure. You know, he's like moving back. Oh shit, like being spun around, right? And then it says, shaken by the wind, with the result that he lay helpless on the ground. So He struck him down. And yo, that's the same thing He's going to be doing to these devils. Look at Joe Biden. People already saying it like, "Oh, this nigga going to drop dead, bro. This nigga going to die." It's already in the works. It's already in the works. So we wouldn't be surprised when it happens, if and when it happens. All right. It says his limbs were paralyzed and he was unable to speak. Biden could barely speak now. Joe barely there. Biden. That's him. All right. It says he could barely speak. Okay. Since he was struck by a just judgment. His friends and bodyguards saw that the punishment that had seized him was severe. Fearing that even his life might fail, they quickly dragged him out, since they were terror-stricken. After a while, the king recovered, and even though he had been punished, he didn't change his heart and mind at all, but went away, issuing bitter threats. Okay, so yo, that's the same thing they're doing right now, man. You know, issuing bitter threats. Yo, you're gonna be punished. You're gonna this. We're gonna do this to you. We're gonna do that to you. All right. It says, let me see something real quick. Yep. So that's pretty much it. I was gonna read the whole thing, but oh, there you go. This is the fun part. All right. So right here. So he went. So let me just read it. So verse 25, it says, when he had returned to Egypt, Ptolemy we're talking about, right? He added to his evil deeds with the assistance of his drinking companions and friends who were strangers to everything just. That's the wicked. They don't know anything about righteousness. All they do is wickedness. You got the premier out there in Australia. He's part of it. Boris Johnson. You know, this nigga is such a clown, bro. He's such a clown. It's like everything he does. The new thing is build back better. Then you eat. Build back better. Then you drink. Build back better. Then you do anything. Before he does anything now, he gotta look up in the camera and build back better. Now, that whole saying, we're gonna one day, Lord willing, you know, we're gonna break it down. But that's them, their code for 666. All right, I'll break it down through the spirit. All right, but yeah, man, that guy's a clown, full blown. All right, but it says here, they didn't know anything that was just, that was righteous. Everything they did was wicked. All right, the Trudeaus of the world, Biden, all these people who are telling people what to do, and if you don't do it, we're gonna punish you and all this stuff. They're all coming back. They don't know anything about righteousness. You out here putting a poison in people, killing people, and you're still telling people it's safe and effective. That's wicked, man. And you shut down anyone who speaks against what you're saying, and that's wicked. Okay, that's why the scripture says the wicked fleeth when no man pursueth. You trying to hide everything, man. It says he wasn't satisfied with his innumerable indecent acts, but he also advanced. It's like, where is it? Where did I stop? Okay, right. So he also advanced to such a degree of impudence that he circulated false reports in the various districts. That's exactly what they're doing again. But check it. It says, many of his friends took note of the king's purpose and followed his lead. So they came together, they conspired. You had the Faucis of the world, the Gates of the world. They all came together, the governors and the mayors and the presidents, the prime ministers. And they fomented this plan, this conspiracy. Okay, they conspired against the world, the population, but really against Jake. And that's what they're doing again. Okay, so here. All right, they circulated false reports. The CDC comes out and says this, and then the next day they say that. It's the same thing, history repeating itself. Now here it says, many of his friends took note of the king's purpose and followed his lead. He proposed to spread blame publicly against the Jewish nation. So what are they doing now? Oh, it's the pandemic of the unvaccinated. And then really soon it's going to be, it's you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. It's a pandemic of you. We need to come into your communities and kill this thing. Okay? He set up a stone near the tower in the courtyard with the following inscription carved upon it. It says, none who refuse to sacrifice are to enter into their sanctuaries. So if you don't take this thing, you will not be allowed into these businesses, these buildings, these churches, these schools, these blah, 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 anything. Same thing that's happening again. Let's read. In addition, all the Jews are to be registered and their property cataloged. You need to have an ID, identification, right? Registered and property cataloged. That is identification. You take this jab and then you have your QR code that goes with it. You've been registered. Those who object are to be taken by force and to put to death. So now we know that's the next step. Okay, I told you, we've been saying it time and time again, and the scripture also says it. It's biblical prophecy. Those who are going to stand firm against this beast will be put to death. Some of us are going to be martyrs. We know that. But the majority of the people will be put to death for standing up against this beast system. They did it before, and they're replaying the same thing. Why do you think they started all of a sudden this time around? They're using Greek letters, Greek variants. Today is the delta, tomorrow is the alpha, the next day is the mu, the next day is the this, and the next day is the that. Why Greek? And do you want to run out the whole Greek alphabet too? Because they're all coming back. You see, it says, those who are registered are to be branded on the body by fire, with the ivy leaf sign of Dionysus, and are also to be assigned to their former limited civic status. You see, so you get those perks. If you do it, you get like De Blasio in New York. He said, "Oh, you get the key to the city." And I did a video a couple of days ago, I think it was yesterday. All right, that a couple of my friends in the world, guess what? They did it because of the same reasons. Oh, I couldn't go to the bar after work with my boys like we used to. I'm like, nah, I can't. I got. Right? It says, but as not to seem hateful to all, he added, check it. This is exactly, check it. But if any of them should prefer to join those who have been initiated into the mysteries, these are to enjoy political rights equal to the Alexandrians. Boom. There you go. That's the same thing they're doing today. You see? So if you, hey, listen, hey, you don't have to take it, but look, if you don't take it, this is what's going to happen. You have limited civic status, very limited. You can't go here, you can't do this, blah blah. But if you prefer to join these, mysteries, because guess what? It's a mystery. Whatever you're putting in your body, you don't know. That's why they say it's an experiment. Fauci himself said to go through the phases is going to take at least a decade. So just think about that. It's a mystery. People don't know what's going to happen. That's why it's called an experimental, drug, if you will. They don't know. They don't know. That's why people right now is all experiments. Okay? So it's a mystery. It says those who enjoy, these are the people who get to enjoy the political rights equal to the Alexandrians. Okay? It says, now some Jews, while pretending to detest the steps to be undertaken for the city's religion, readily surrendered themselves to share in great fame through the association they would have with the king. That's why you have Jakes now who sell out. Even in Israel, you have men who sold out because of this very reason. They would have what? They would have association with the king. Ain't Esau doing the same thing right now? Those who took the jab, they're praised. Those who speak against it are demonized. Isn't that what's happening right now? They bravely try to save themselves from being registered by resorting to bribes in exchange for their lives. So you got people doing the fake, thing. You got all kinds of different ways. People trying to get past it. Same thing happening again. They remained hopeful of obtaining help, and they looked with contempt on those Jews who had deserted them. Yes, we do the same thing. We look at all these Jakes that are falling off, siding with the side of Esau. You got all these celebrities that you could just tell, like, damn, bro, you how much are you getting paid to be saying these things? You look at them and you just detest them because you're like, you deserted us. You turned your back on the Lord because you're afraid of what? Of an injection? You're afraid of losing a job? You're afraid of not going to school? Who the hell wants to go to school? Like, damn, people are so beat down to the ground that you do this just to be a slave. Esau got you messed up. Working is slavery. Well, in this system, at least. You're always constantly working for somebody. And you're fiending to go back to work for somebody so bad that you're willing to take a mystery into your body just so you can get back to your old way of being a slave. That's why, listen, that is why the Lord is going to destroy America with thermonuclear missiles, with fire. That the wickedness is just going to keep on going. Yesterday, I saw some shit and I was like, sometimes you see this type of stuff and it's just like, you have nothing to say. You get speechless. Like, the shit is so wicked. You're like, I don't even know how to react. Am I mad? Am I angry? Am I sad? Am I like, you know what I'm saying? You don't know what to do. You just look up and then you just shake your head and you're like, Father, how long? How long? How much more do we have to endure this type of stuff? And then you realize, you know what? It's probably going to get just a lot more worse. Because the Lord is going to be very justified when he puts fire on this place. I mean, it's going to get so bad. Even the wicked are going to turn around and be like, yo, yeah, we going to have to eat missiles nah, this is too much. You know? Even the wicked are going to turn around and start looking for missiles. They'd be like, yeah, we need to eat these missiles because we out of control. So this place is done, bro. That's the only judgment. It's like, it has to go that way. All right, it has to go that way, man. You're going to have a whole bunch of infected weirdos walking around dead in the streets. This whole land is going to stink. It's going to smell bad. It's going to be just rotten, dead corpse, all kinds of infected, nasty stuff. This place is going to be so bad. You're going to have to light this place on fire just to cleanse it. And that's why the Lord said he's going to do that. Okay? He's going to do exactly that. Okay, so it says, they considered those who gave in to the enemies of the Jewish nation and no longer associated with them or offered them assistance. And that's exactly what's happening right now. You know, if anyone who took the thing, we who stand firm and said, nah, we good. We'll be all right. We have natural immunity. We'll be all right. Don't worry about it. You know, we don't trust this devil, point blank, period. We look at you who did it like, yo, you're not thinking, bro. You're not thinking. Whatever reason you had is not even a justifiable reason to do what you did. Okay? Especially those who go to church, who claim to believe on God and so on and so forth. We look at you like, where's your faith? Or you don't go to church to exercise your faith. You just go to church just to go because it's something that you've been doing all your life. So you just keep doing it without thinking. It's sad. You know, it's sad, but hey, this has to happen. The 2/3 are gonna have to fulfill their lot, and the elect are gonna have to fulfill their lot. Okay, and Esau is also gonna have to fulfill his lot. And we just read everything that they did back then is the same thing they're doing right now. You had to be registered, you know, you had to play along, you had to go along with them and what they wanted you to do so you can receive benefits. And if you stood up and fought and said anything against that narrative, you were demonized. And soon you'll be killed. We're going to be saying that you were killed for speaking up against this beast or, you know, going against it. You see. Man, so hey, that's pretty much it. You know, that was the point I wanted to bring out. All right, that history once again is repeating itself. Okay, and you know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the elect, we're gonna make it. Okay, we've seen it. We've lived through it before. All right, and this is a last go around. Okay, this is our last repeat of history, if you will. All right, because we finally got it. The Lord is like, all right, you finally got the message. Okay. And that's why we've turned back to the Most High and we pray upon every single day. We pray to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. That's our only way out, man. Okay? So I'm going to end it up by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachak Kodash, the Wadiyah Ba'ashem Yahushai. And until next time, Shalom.